in MA in International Relation and Strategic Studies from the University of Mumbai. And apart from this, she has done from Nalsar also, Nalsar University. She Hyderabad Advanced Diploma in International Humanitarian Law. These are the few very niche area, man. You have acquired all those skills from one of Nalsar is one such institution, which is world acclaimed institution you have been to, and we are fortunate to have such distinguished guest in today's afternoon session, student. Uh, and today's topic is communication uh, skills to make a meaningful business connection. Is it the correct man?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Communication skills to enhance and create the business connections, meaningful business connections. That is what every student should always look for. And today's session, we look forward that Rashiman will share her experience with her vast experience, number one. And number two, she has got the right credentials from the top notch universities and colleges. It is better, I should not put myself between the knowledge roadmap and other students. I take rest and hand it over this platform to you, ma'am. Please carry it on.
Firstly, a good afternoon, everyone. And what can I say? It is a pleasure to be here, speaking in front of all of you today. And I have been informed that you all are young management students, and you are on the brink of entering a new dynamic energy and an exciting world. And for that world, one of the key or most critical skill that you need is effective communication. So before we proceed forward with what communication is and how can it help you build successful relationships or meaningful relationships in this field, let me tell you something about myself. So I talked about my educational background, but I am much more than what I have studied, I believe. And all that is because of my communication. And for that, I have to thank my parents because they never stopped me from talking. And this is something that I am habituated with, well versed with, that I love to talk. And now I have inculcated a habit of giving a disclaimer wherever I go that hi, I'm Rashi. And one thing about you should know about me is that I love talking. And that has worked wonders for me, that my extroverted nature or my habit of talking to everyone, it has made me what I am today, whatever I am today, whatever little that I am today. And I feel that communication is, it is not about just being professional, it is about maintaining a relationship with every person that crosses your path, even for a single minute. So starting from what I did to come into this field was that I have taken a professional training of a communication skills coach from the Indian Institute of Skill Development and Training. And it was a couple of years back that I was associated with a Delhi based institution, and I was asked to uh, train people of all age groups who struggle with day to day communication. They have their own businesses, or they don't have the confidence to speak up in their class elocutions. So people ranging from the age of 12 to 50, we have interacted in multiple manners. And people who struggle with basic English, we used to have different tasks. Like I used to ask them that तुम अपने कोई भी पसंदीदा मूवी से एक सीन चूज करो और उसको इंग्लिश में कन्वर्ट करके हम ऐसा वर्कशॉप कंडक्ट करेंगे. एंड slowly and steadily people started to speak up. So communication is only two things: taking the first initiative to speak up and having the tolerance and patience to listen. Because many times, as I move forward with my speech, I'll bust some of the myths that people have about business communication or professional communication in general. It is not at all difficult, and you don't have to have a very massive set of vocabulary. It is impressive to have a good set of vocabulary for communication, but it is not necessary, and it is not the only way you ensure effective communication, right? So uh, I want to talk about how this skill of communication can help you build meaningful relationships in business and why humility and gratitude are very essential components of it. And imagine that you are in a room full of people, and some there is a person who is speaking in a very hi-fi English, and who has a very crisp language, very brisk, precise nature of putting up things. But you are not captivated by that person's speech because you feel that somewhere or the other that person has a certain bit of arrogance. But on the other hand, you see a person who is standing up, and very simply he or she is expressing something. She or he, that person, is making sure that you as listeners understand what that person is trying to say. And that is how humility and gratitude and empathizing and being considerate of other people's needs is how communication and relationships are built. So let's think about what communication really is. So at its core, communication is nothing but it is about connection, negotiation, you can say diplomacy to a certain extent. And it is not about conveying your messages, it is about building bridges, it is about fostering understanding, it is about conveying your message in such a way that the recipient, that the receiver of the message is not left with any other doubt. And it is communication is the only way, the primary way to create a foundation of trust. So whether you are pitching any idea to a certain number of people, you are negotiating a deal, or you're simply having any conversation of that sort with your colleague, with your authorities, the way you communicate makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so one of the most important aspects of communication is listening, as I said. Share certain anecdotes that I observed in the last couple of years where after I started teaching communication. There are two types of people. One set of people are those who like to listen to give answers, and other set of people are those who like to listen because they like to absorb what knowledge is coming their way. It can be any set of knowledge, and the people, and you can make a very clear differentiation between those two set of people. The ones who are listening it only for replying something to you in return, those are the people you are not very familiar with, or you are not, or you don't want to communicate with them very often, because it's like you have a habit of thinking that अच्छा हम इसको कुछ भी बोलेंगे, इसके पास तो अपने ही जवाब रेडी रहते हैं, तो इनको बोल के फायदा ही नहीं है. And you will meet these set of people more than you will meet the other set of people who listen to listen. Okay, so one important thing to keep in mind here is whenever you are interacting with any person, be prepared to listen. Now you are in a field where management is run by negotiation, it is run by communication majorly. Before you start up with your presentation, before you pitch forward any idea, how you react, how you greet people, what are the gestures that you use, your body language, your personality, everything comes under communication. Until and unless your peers, your colleagues, your authorities feel that this person is open to taking any sort of feedback, he or she won't be much invested in your idea, and he won't be willing to get engaged in what kind of presentation that you have, or what kind of product are you selling, what kind of a person are you. It is about building relations, because you have to pose yourself in a certain way that I am open to listening to you. Your needs come first, your opinions are of my priority. So communication is not me. It is about you, your understanding, your needs, your idea of what is right and wrong. Because ultimately, we have to be very careful with our words, but more than that, we have to careful with the way we are listening to other people. So often we think that communication is only about speaking. Communication का नाम सुनते हैं तो क्या आता है मन में कि नहीं हमारा speech ऐसा होना चाहिए. We have to present ourselves in a certain idea. But nobody, have you ever thought when you talk about communication, कभी ऐसा image आया है आपके दिमाग में कि अभी चुप रह के सुनना है? No, but it is equally more. It is equally, and I'd say that it's more important, because the art of listening, or when you truly just listen to someone, you show them the respect and then you make them feel valued. So right now, when you all are so patiently listening to me, I feel so valued. I feel so respected, because you all are here. You have taken time out of your schedule. You are listening to me. And imagine now if I'm saying something and one of you just unmutes your mic and just asks me questions constantly. So I will feel rather attacked. won't I? So this is why we say that the art of listening is the bedrock of any meaningful relationship, especially in business. Okay, here we are more focused on business, but make sure that you, in every relationship that you have with your parents, with your friends, with your peers, with your classmates, with your colleagues, listening is the key factor. It is the starting most point of sending or receiving any message. Another aspect of communication is the clarity. You have to be, one must be very clear and very concise in the message. And one thing to make sure that you are clear and concise with your message is avoiding using any jargon in your language. Jargon is nothing but using certain words that are not well suited with your personality or that are very unusual to hear, and something that is not making your speech that effective. So for example, consider that two people are speaking to each other and they're discussing about uh, something very important, something about finances, and they are in an office and they have to make a presentation and they have to go forward with that. And when they make a presentation, they discuss something. Now two colleagues are discussing within themselves, so it can be a little informal. But when you go to the presentation, and I have heard this multiple times in any workplace, that people are talking to each other, and when the boss, he doesn't agree to this, they start saying stuff like, "Arey maan jao na yaar." Okay, so this language or using certain words, or this was, there was no abusive word in this sentence that I said right now, but certainly this tone is not something that you might want to hear in your workplace. And workplace छोड़ो, हमारे घर पे भी ऐसा rule है. If by the time I say something, often I make the mistake of calling my parents also yaar sometimes, even though I'm a communication coach, that too certified. My mother throws this on my face the first time. What kind of a tone are you using? Why are you using such a tone? I am not your friend or your peer that you can talk to me this way. You don't. You and my father says, "Oh, you are a coach, sir, communication coach. Still, you are not making sure that your language is jargon free." जबकि ये सेंटेंस में कुछ गलत तो था नहीं, बट क्यों हमें ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए? बिकॉज इससे हमारे कम्युनिकेशन का क्लैरिटी हैम्पर होता है. बिकॉज वी आर not more assertive. We are rather, we are persuasive in a way that if you don't listen to me, I'm not going to be very happy. And having this ego and this unclear use of language in your communication, it is a mood killer. And this is not going to be this is not going to make sure that your goal is to be understood. Okay, and another more powerful or the best tool that many people often get confused is that simplicity is the most powerful tool in any communication. Okay, I don't know if you have seen this meme on Instagram or on any other Facebook page, but there is this ad where a man goes to a five-star hotel. I think it's Taj or Vivanta or something, and he orders a dish which is like a savory fried dim sum, which has a blend of mashed potatoes and stir fried peas and sauteed onions with a beautiful tamarind sauce and paste. And itna bada wo dish ka naam hota hai. And then the chef, he goes to the kitchen, or the person who is taking the order, he goes to the kitchen, opens the door, and पीछे पराठे वाली गली में he will say कि 2 समोसे चाहिए. So did you? So here also communication is very, very important. You know why? Because sometimes we use overly complex language, जिसका मतलब ना इतने word में भी समझाया जा सकता था. Now consider this. I'll give you a very good example from real life. Okay, so when Steve Jobs, he introduced the first iPhone, he didn't use any complicated or technical terms. He only said that an iPod or an iPhone is an internet communicator. That is why we call it an iPhone, because it is an internet communicator. And this simple and clear message, it resonated with everyone. And from tech experts to average consumers, everyone understood that, oh, iPod or iPhone is an internet communicator. That is it. This was not so difficult to understand. And that is why Apple, I'm not saying this is the only reason why Apple grew to be such in such a huge number, but this is also the reason why people find iPhones or Apple phones to be really handy because it's an iPhone. It is as simple as that, and that is why it gained momentum, because it was very easy for normal people to understand, and obviously it had this groundbreaking technology and security also. So here the power of his communication lay in its simplicity. Another example of why I'm stressing this so much on simplicity is because often the new generation feels that I have seen this multiple times where I have told my some of my students to give me an example or give me any assignment in which they have to write only 50 words about themselves. And to make sure that the language is fancy, they use a thesaurus, or they just go on Google and they say, give me a good term for beautiful, give me some synonyms for passionate. एंड ये सब सिनोनिम्स यूज कर करके कभी कभी इतना ज़्यादा हम ओवरली कॉम्प्लेक्स कर लेते हैं लैंग्वेज को, दैट वी डोंट अंडरस्टैंड that what we are trying to convey is not coming off as it should. Okay, so another example, let's just take something from our own experiences. Now think about all the emails and about the messages that have been most effective to you. Okay, they're likely to be the ones that get straight to the point. When you study communication, both verbal and written, this is something that will be taught to you in detail, that how any official email has to be straight to the point, and you don't have to beat around the bush, and you have to avoid all the unnecessary complexity. So for instance, imagine that you are receiving an email from any colleague or any office that reads that, can we meet at 3 p.m. tomorrow to discuss the marketing strategy? Okay, this is a very simple thing, everyone understood this. Now compared to the one that says, I'll just quote something that I wrote as an example today. In reference to our ongoing project, it would be beneficial to convene at your earliest convenience, specifically tomorrow afternoon, to deliberate on the marketing initiatives that we have outlined. Oh, what was the message here? We have to meet at 3 p.m. for discussing the marketing strategy. And then we have this entire list of words, fancy words, deliberate, marketing initiative. We have to convene this, convene that. Now, as students of, I don't know if you've started with this course already, but as students of management, you have a lot at your disposal. You have to study, you have to read, write, do your assignments. You have to make sure that you develop skills simultaneously. You have to keep a check on the market. You have to keep a check on other competitive products. If you have a startup of your own, you have to look at many things. अब इसमें अगर आपको कोई ऐसा मेल भेजेगा जिसका हम एक ही सेंटेंस में वर्णन कर सकते थे, तो आपको अपने आप ही मन में आ जाएगा कि कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं आप ये कम शब्दों में भी तो समझा सकते थे. Okay, so this not only the former, that can be meet at 3 p.m. That sentence is direct and easy to understand. It is less time consuming, and it is very, very easy to decipher on our own. So this is something that is very important while making sure that your communication is effective. My parents always used to say, when I used to study during my 10th, 11th standard, I have a liking for social studies a lot. I mean, I'm a great fan of political science, international relations. In fact, I've done my graduation in political science honors. Then I moved forward to pursuing international relations and strategic studies, and I also did international humanitarian law. Now, these subjects are relatively new, especially international relations is something that not many people are familiar with. So my parents always say that तुम ऐसे पढ़ाई करो कि तुम ना कल को अपनी दादी को भी समझा सको. Now my grandmother doesn't understand a single word of English, but I have to make sure that I grasp the knowledge in such a way that it is easy for me to convey my messages to my grandmother. So if I'm telling her about international politics or international relations, if I use certain words like no दादी, ये realism का context है ना, idealism के context में बैठता नहीं है. आपको पता नहीं है, अभी हम लोग इतने टेक्निकल चीज़ों से गुजर रहे हैं. यहाँ पे ग्लोबलाइजेशन की जगह हमें सोशलिस्ट नहीं, कैपिटलिस्ट ये यूज़ करना चाहिए. इफ़ आई यूज़ ऑल दीज वर्ड्स, विल द लेमैन पर्सन बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से? So here is why we have to make sure that right from a person who is a vegetable vendor to a person who is sitting at the top of an MNC, we have to be very clear, very precise with our communication, and using simple communication is the only way, because often people make the mistakes of using certain words in a very wrong manner. For example, yeah, this is a word that comes to my mind, abysmal. Abysmal is a word that sounds like a very chirpy word, or it sounds like a compliment, but in the real world it means that it is terrible. Whenever someone says that something is abysmal, it is terrible. I mean, it is not worth looking at. So people, they sometimes they forget the meaning of this, of such kind of words, and they use it in a certain way that changes the meaning entirely. So when I want to say so if I am a person who is impressed by high vocabulary, I'll say that, oh my god, this food is just abysmal. So my gesture and my words are not matching with each other, right? So it is much more safe to use a very simple language. It is convenient, it is less time consuming. However, keep one thing in mind, that even though you are using simple language, it should be out of choice and not out of necessity. You have to make an effort to continuously update yourselves about every single thing that comes in your field of work. I have to have a technical knowledge, I have to have a certain terminology for everything, but it is my choice that I am not using those words, because I want to make the other person understand what I'm trying to say. सो इफ़ आई एम सेइंग दैट नी सिंप्लिसिटी इज़ पावरफुल, तो आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना छोड़ दें, आप नए नए शब्दों का मतलब जानना छोड़ दें, ये सोल्यूशन नहीं है. यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल, बिकॉज it is up to you. It's like, okay, yeah, I can understand that this is something that I can say it very clearly, but in order for the audience to understand, I have to change my language. So never stop updating yourself about current affairs, about new terminologies, and you make sure that whatever words that are coming up in the Oxford Dictionary or any dictionary for that matter, keep yourself updated with that, because it is really, really impressive to have a nice set of vocabulary. As I said before, it is not necessary, but it is impressive. And for people who are pursuing management, I always advise that you should have a very nice grasp over your knowledge, over your field of study, and over your way of negotiation and talking to other people, no matter unka age kya hai or unka authority status kya hai. Okay. Now let's talk about the tone of the communication. It is very essential to keep a humble tone, because arrogance can quickly ruin everything. I think this is also a kind of disclaimer that I have given to every person that I meet, that I cannot tolerate arrogance, and in fact nobody can tolerate arrogance. Even if you have younger siblings at your home who are very young, they don't even know the meaning of the word arrogance, but they understand your tone completely. Not just siblings, any animal also, for that matter. I have seen this so many times, that I have a pet at home, and if someone is using a very rash language, and if that person is not polite enough, my dog won't go and sit near that person. So every living creature on this planet, they can sense the tone, and we as humans who have the capability to rationalize everything, we can sense the tone even better, and we can make amends to our own tone, right? So a simple thank you can go a long way when someone is talking to you, when someone does something for you, no matter if that person is the owner of a mobile store, or if that person is a vegetable vendor, if that person is your teacher, your classmate, your friend. Nobody can get without listening to the words thank you or any token of appreciation, because when you express gratitude, you acknowledge the efforts that other people put in you, okay, and put for your development. And that, I think, that fosters a very positive and a very collaborative environment. And I'll share my mool mantra with you guys. Okay, since when we talk about communication, there's this very, very beautiful movie called Bambi, and in that movie there's a dialogue that if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. So here, something nice is not something that sounds nice or something that is pleasing to my ears or something that is very hi-fi. Here, something nice is something that is said with gratitude, something that is said with humility, and something that is said with utmost politeness. Now, I'm not saying that you are never allowed to get angry or you're never allowed to express your feelings. You are. But always keep a limit of using your words. This I'm saying this because you all are in the age where getting impulsive or getting reactive is very very easy for you. It is much more easier than remaining calm. And often what happens is that people of our age, people of your age, they often forget that communication doesn't depend on who we are talking to. It slightly depends on that factor, but communication depends on who we are. If I'm using certain words uh, at my home that are or with my friends that are not certainly conventionally very jargon free, so I won't realize when am I developing or inculcating a habit of using that rash language at home or in front of my peers or in front of my future children. And I have seen this happen many times. I would like to share an anecdote with all of you that happened right in front of my eyes. One of my students who was and she is 50 years of age. I guess she is 53, and she is a very kind hearted person, but she struggled with the using abusive words a lot. I mean, after every sentence she went into the pro Mirzapur mode, and then she started talking something, and it was very difficult to calm her down. And that is why she joined the communication course, because she wanted to get uh, get past without using this language. And one key thing that she told me was that Rashi, I the reason I joined this course because I don't want to use all these cuss words and these abusive words, because my daughter has picked up on that habit, and her daughter is an early teenager, and she and very outrightly she said कि आपसे ही तो सीखा है मैंने ये भाषा बोलना. And the poor lady was shocked, because sometimes, and she's like, I only use it in front of my friends, so they know it, but how can she pick up on that habit? So you never know who is picking up on your habit, or who is judging you, or who is getting influenced by your words. So having watching your tone is very important, your tone and your body language. Moving forward to the non-verbal part of our am I audible to you?
No, ma'am.
Am I audible to you now? Can you please check?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Yeah, as I was saying, now imagine I'm talking to you, but I'm not using my hands. I'm sitting like this, and then I'm just saying, okay, communication is very important because it has these topics, and we have to inculcate a habit of doing this. This is. I think you all would have slept within first 5 minutes of my speech if I would have talked like this. But communication is not only about speaking or listening, it is about expressing yourself. If I am using certain gestures, if I am using a good body language, if my eyes pop up, if my eyes go down, if it squints, if I clench, if I let go, if I use my hands like this, if I use my hands like this, everything matters in communication. And this non-verbal part of communication is very important because it determines what kind of a personality you have. uh, many people think that all this is just a bunch of unimportant or something. They have told me to my face that it's a non-verbal mein itna kya hai? It is just nonsense that you are teaching. And that is when I realized that what personality other people have, it determines on it. Now take a certain example. Imagine if you are a very extrovert person, you're very extroverted in your nature, very outgoing, and you're talking to someone who is not speaking that much, and they're sitting like this and they are clenching a little, or they are not able to look you right in Okay, can you all hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah, sorry, there was a problem with my laptop. Um, so I have joined with my phone. I hope that's okay. And, yeah. So as we were discussing, I think we were discussing about the non-verbal part of the communication. Uh, See, non-verbal communication is something that we need to work on gradually. It just doesn't happen overnight, and we often make the mistake of not realizing how important non-verbal communication is. Just excuse me, please. When we talk about non-verbal communication, it comprises of every element there is when we don't use our mouth. Okay, we it can range from exhaling, inhaling about something. Sometimes it happens that when someone is talking to us, we do something like this. Okay, we are not using any word here, but still it is something that makes the other person feel that okay, maybe this person is not enjoying talking to me, maybe this person is not that interested. And apart from our posture, our facial expressions also show the amount of interest that lies in our conversations. So uh, your body language, eye contact, facial expression, and even your posture can convey a great deal about your intentions and feelings. Okay, so maintaining good eye contact shows that you are engaged and interested in the conversation. Open body language, such as uncrossed arms, leaning slightly forward, can make you appear more approachable and receptive. Now, I am leaning forward and talking to you. If I do this, and then I talk to you, and you're like, "Arey, what is happening? Maybe she's not that engrossed in talking to me." So this is, I'm showing all of this with examples because it will give you a clearer idea about how one must behave when while talking to others. And this works very, very importantly when we discuss about any business whatsoever. uh, so I come from Gujarat, right? And in Gujarat, I have seen businesses being made, deals being cracked more on a pan ka tapri or chai ka tapri and lesser in conference rooms. And why is that? Because there people are more focused on building relationships rather than making money. Okay, they will say that okay, we want to make money, but we want to get engrossed in your life first. And this happens when someone is on the call, they'll be talking to the chairman of the biggest industry, and they'll be like, ha ha, bolo bolo bhai tame, like this they'll do. And in no classroom this is taught that how to behave in front of a businessman or in front of any authorities. But they have, before doing this bolo bolo bhai, they have inculcated a relationship, they have built a foundation of trust by using minute details, by using jargon free language, by using polite gestures, by making sure that that person has truly felt listened, that during any conversation. Okay, so think about a time when you felt truly listened to during a conversation. It's likely that it wasn't just the person's words that made you feel heard, it was their nodding, their attentive gaze, their open posture. So that's why these non-verbal cues, they play a very, very crucial role in how we connect with others and in how we build trust. And think about all the people that you have admired in business. Chances are that they are not just good at what they do, they're also great communicators. They listen, they're clear, they're humble, and they express gratitude. And this quality makes them not only effective leaders but also people others want to work with and support. So communication is something that has an array of elements, and something that is not learned completely. At this stage of life, I, after teaching communication skills for more than 6 years now, I'm still learning something about communication every day, because every person that you interact with, their personality differs, their thought process differs, the way they perceive things, that differs.
the way they speak up, that differs. So when something that is so subjective, how can we make communication objective? There is no fixed rule of communication, never. There is never a fixed rule of communication. Just one rule is that you have to practice empathy, and you have to be considerate about what the other person wants to hear. This rule in communication, it comes with the basic understanding of all these aspects, that you have to be a very good listener, you have to be very good with your gestures, you have to be excellent at building relationship and making other feel respected and valued. So I think I have spoken a lot already. I just want to say that as you embark on your careers and on your education, remember that building meaningful relationships in business is not just about what you know or what you can do. It is about how you connect with others. It is about effective communication, being grounded in humility and gratitude, and all this will set you apart and help you create lasting and meaningful relationships. There are many technical aspects of communications, and there are different chapters on everything. But one thing that comes with our personality, with our upbringing, is humility and gratitude and empathy. So that is why I have stressed more on this, because as we build our careers, as we start making money, we often forget the time to make our personalities. We often make the time to forget, we often forget to make the time for introspection. And this introspection can happen when you communicate with others and when you communicate with yourself. This is also a very good trick, which I practice every day. I talk to myself a lot, majorly because I talk so much that other people often get bored sometimes. So I have to talk to myself, but you have to start practicing the art of introspection also, so that it keeps you grounded. Never forget. Okay, so this is something that I have been taught in school, that I'll give you the wings to fly. Okay, you have to say this affirmation to yourself: I'll give you the wings to fly, while making sure that your feet are on the ground. Okay, so don't take this in a very negative connotation कि हम जमीन पे ही रहेंगे तो उड़ेंगे कैसे. उड़ने के बावजूद अगर आप और ये डिसाइड करेंगे वो लोग जिनसे आप रेगुलरली इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, जिनसे आप हम्बल है, जिनकी तरफ आप ग्रेटफुल है, और ये सब डिटरमाइन करने वाले लोग एक ही चीज से डिटरमाइन करेंगे कि आपका कम्युनिकेशन कैसा है, चाहे वो बिजनेस में हो या आपके पर्सनल लाइफ में हो, आपके कोई भी और करियर या कोई भी फ्रंट पे हो. Gratitude, humility, effective communication, this will set you apart, and it will help you create meaningful relationships that will last longer than any other talent that you possess. So I encourage you all to practice these skills. Listen actively, speak clearly, remain humble, express gratitude. And these habits will not only help you succeed in your careers, but it will also enrich your personal and professional lives like you must have never imagined. And currently, I am in no position to give you an example of myself, that how this has helped me achieve great things, because after all, I am still learning, and after all, many people who are at the highest peak of their ages, they are also learning. So communication is successful not after reaching a certain stage. It is successful as you build relationships, as you go with the flow. Okay, and thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in your journey ahead. And if you have any doubts, any queries, you can reach out to me personally. You can ask something to me here. If you want any technical knowledge, just bring on your questions. I'm all in. Yeah, that has been my time. Thank you so much for listening patiently.
Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, how to maintain fluency while speaking English?
Okay, maintaining fluency by speaking in English is speaking slowly. Okay, thinking about what you want to say. Don't rush into speaking things that has been sung by Shankar Mahadevan, breathless. He just keeps on saying those words, continue, continue, continue. You don't have to do that. Often people think that if I don't speak fast, I don't speak fluently. That is not true. Take your time, think about what you want to say, think of all the apt words, and then you can speak. And it is Firstly, you have to forgive yourself if you start stammering or stuttering. Don't feel conscious at all. And if you want to practice fluency, try to talk to yourself by looking in the mirror or by talking to people at home in English. And take your time, think about every word first, and then you can inculcate a habit of speaking fluently. Practicing is the only key here.
Anyone else to have any question? Thank you uh, for asking this question. Any more questions, please? And it was very apt question that might be coming up from many of us, that how we can speak so fluently as you are. How could we achieve that? That is one of the such aspirations we do have. Everyone has this. Anyone, please come up. Okay, it looks like uh, everyone has got their answers during your eventful and engaging and engrossing and all other E's, excellent kind of thing. All other
Thank you.
E's, and really it was very engrossing and enthralling also. And thank you to keep us engaged for such an 1 hour speech. And it was admirable, and it is very, one should always emulate such feat. And I hope the students will always take inspirations from this 1 hour of your conversation, of course. And I have noted few of the things. That is one thing we lack. That is, to be a good communicator, you have to be a very good listener. And that is the one thing which we have been emphasizing on, the listening. And another thing, again, I very agree more than that is the empathy towards the people those we will be talking to, and that makes sense. Then people always associate with your topic while you will be speaking. And the other things, and which I could gather, and one thing is, as you have been suggesting to our student, to how to make fluent conversation, fluent in communication, is not to be too much bothered about what happens. Start, pause whenever if need be. You have to have timely pausing. There are the good number of the actors from where we can learn. Those who always have the pause in, and the great orators also, they used to give pause. Our own revered Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee sometimes used to have a very long pause
Yes,
also. But he used to be a very effective communicator. Good, one
absolutely.
of the rated to be the one of the best communicator. But he used to take the pauses during his speeches. And these pause are very well timed. Pause will always make your conversations. Gradually, it will keep the tempo and gather the tempo rather, and have an effective and fluent communicator. It is, again, you have mentioned one more thing. I re-emphasize, that is practicing. Practice, practice, and practice. That is only one
Certainly.
mantra to become a good communicator. I wanted to make all those points, again, re-emphasizing only. Being a teacher, again, I have to do this, and I have requested all my students to make a notepad alongside pen and paper. Note down whatever the things you listen, and listen it carefully, because our visiting guests and the distinguished guests have hardly had time. They have spared their valuable time from their busy schedule. Thank you very much, Rashi, for your time. And we look forward for such more sessions with us. Keep this association live and kicking, of course. And we would like to look forward towards you for more such sessions. Thank you very much for your valuable time once again.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much, sir.
we wish you success in all your endeavors. And yes, one more thing I just forgot. I noted it, just saw my notepad. That is, you mentioned yourself, you are learning, still learning. And that is the one thing. You keep learning. It never ends, and one never ceases to learn. You will never achieve the pinnacle of the learning till the last. You will keep on learning. That again, there is no end to the learning. And it always gives you, you will become a better person. each day by keep on learning. Thank you, Rashi, for re-emphasizing all those words. Again, I have been narrating all those things to make note of such things. Thank you. And I look forward for more such association and your time, of course. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Definitely. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day, everyone. And thank you so much for being so patient.
Okay, we'll be signing off from here. Thank you.